Welcome back. It's good to see you again. And I'm hoping that in our first session together, in video 1, that you were able to soften and make a friendlier relationship with heartbreak. In this video, we're going to go into betrayal. Exactly what is betrayal, what happened, and how can we navigate through it, as well as how does it intersect with heartbreak. Now, if you're turning this video on for the first time, I'm gonna ask you to turn it off and go to video 1, because this is a 3-part series and this video builds on the first video. So if you haven't seen the first video, please go and engage with the first video first and then come and meet me here. So in the first video, we talked a lot about heartbreak, and we acknowledged that heartbreak is part of the human experience. We all have it, we all live with it. We also acknowledged that this myth of getting over heartbreak is just that, it's a myth. We live with our heartbreak, whether it's the loss of a family member, what we didn't get as a child, our rejection as a child, our rejection of our first partner, or our first breakup, or our second breakup, or our third breakup, the rupture of a dream, the rupture of some trust. We live with it for our entire life, but our relationship can change with it from liability that separates us to a force that animates us, that brings us forward, that helps us be in touch with our passion, be in touch with our purpose, that helps us connect with other people, that helps us contact our own vulnerability and invite vulnerability out in others. So we also said that we would talk about the difference between heartbreak and betrayal. So let's do that now. Heartbreak is what happens when we experience loss, any profound loss that just basically ruptures our world because something that was important to us is gone. Betrayal is essentially a rupture in trust. Something that we absolutely believed was there in our life, was solid in our life, is gone. And we're disoriented, we're lost without that. Let's talk about trust. So trust is really the fabric of our reality. So how does this fabric work, right? So we trust in all of these different things, and that's how we navigate the world. That's how we know we can rely on our feet to be touching the ground, for there to be gravity, for there to be food, for there to be sunlight, for there to be safety. I want to pause just for a minute and recognize that talking about betrayal and heartbreak can be really triggering. And we talked about this a little bit in the first video. And what I want to promise you is that going in, turning towards heartbreak and betrayal will bring a sense of peace, will bring a sense of connection to yourself and to others. And that as we examine what happened, something will loosen in all of us. So let's start to get a little micro with what does this fabric of reality look like? What are we trusting in? And I'm gonna read off just a few of the things that we might trust in that could be ruptured and cause betrayal. And before I do that, I just want to context that often when we experience betrayal, the people around us are saying, well, what's the big deal? You know, this happened and just move on. You know, this person wasn't who you thought. You know, someone betrayed you, someone lied to you, someone was disloyal to you. What's the big deal? So let's talk about what the big deal is. Why does betrayal devastate us? So why does it cause such heartbreak? Why do we remember betrayals that happened years ago? And why does it leave us unable to trust ourselves or anyone else? Trust is so foundational to our reality. It's difficult to move in the world without trust. And let's really deconstruct that a bit. So with trust as the fabric of our reality, what are some of the ways that that fabric can be broken? And I'm going to read some of those off, and I'd like you to bring to mind a betrayal that you experienced. And if one doesn't come immediately to mind, as I list off these possible ruptures in the fabric of our realities, possible sources of betrayal, see if betrayals come to mind. We trust that people we love won't harm us. We trust that those who are there to protect us won't attack us. We trust that those who are there to nurture us will not neglect us. We trust that our bodies will serve us and not become incapacitated. We trust that those we love most will not leave us. We trust our own judgment to steer us from danger and not into threatening, unsafe environments. We trust our desire to lead us to fulfillment rather than heartbreak. We trust our minds to make sound decisions, not to lead us into peril. We trust our hearts to lead us to what is true, not what is fantasy. We trust our leaders and our employers to be fair and to value our contributions, not to use and exploit us. We trust God to keep us safe and not to forsake us. We trust that everything will be all right, and suddenly it isn't. Let's just let that land. There's so many ways that our trust, that our reality can be torn, can be broken. And this is the source of betrayal. And often we don't even realize that a betrayal has happened and we're living over it. And we don't know why we feel separation. We don't know why we feel disconnected. We don't know why we feel sudden grief or anger or confusion or disorientation. But when there's a break in trust in something we absolutely relied on, like all the things I just listed, we wonder inside if we can trust anything, if we can trust our own judgment, if we can trust in what we perceive as real, if we can trust the love and connection and safety that we feel with another person. And suddenly we can feel alone and overwhelmed and unsure how to move. These are all symptoms of experiencing betrayal, and we have all experienced betrayal multiple times. So again, just distinguishing heartbreak, which is a loss, any loss, from betrayal, which is an actual rupture in our reality, a rupture in what we perceive as real, a rupture in what we have relied on. Really different things. Heartbreak can come from betrayal, but betrayal is its own animal and needs its own attention and understanding. And that's the work we're doing in this session together today. So let's talk a little bit, and I know this is a lot of heavy concepts, but let's talk a little bit about what happens when betrayal occurs, when our reality is ruptured, what gets exposed. So our experience is often overwhelm and all the things we talked about before: disorientation, replaying what happened, taking responsibility, too much responsibility, blaming ourselves, obsessing, blaming the other person, being angry, being disoriented, losing trust in ourselves, losing trust in other people. All those things happen on the surface. But as we feel those emotions and we look at what's happened, a lot has been exposed. It's almost like there's been an explosion or a tear in the fabric that exposes things that we've been running from or avoiding or didn't want to see. We're afraid to see. We're hiding from ourselves. So let's talk a little bit about what that looks like. So I want to give a personal example of how betrayal happens, reality is ruptured, all the feelings and thoughts that we've talked about occur and get into a loop, and then what's exposed from this rupture. So my partner cheated on me and left me, and there was a new reality that I had to embrace, and that new reality had to include who he actually was and not my fantasy of who he was. It had to embrace that our relationship wasn't a priority for him. It had to embrace that I was hoping to get something from him that I wasn't willing to give to myself. It had to embrace that maybe I don't know what it means to love and be loved. And maybe I don't have many models of healthy relationship. Betrayal naturally exposes a lot of things we're trying to avoid seeing all at once, and it feels really overwhelming. Betrayal shows us what is broken, what's unhealed, what's untrue, as it fractures our reality that we've carefully built to keep the things that are most scary, most threatening to us away. It shows us where we need to look to grow and to be the people we were truly born to be. It shows us what is actual connection and what is fantasy. It's a fierce teacher, but betrayal, even as it seems like our worst enemy, even though it seems like the worst possible thing, can be our truest friend. So we've talked a lot about betrayal. We've talked a lot about what happens when we feel betrayed. And now I'd like us all to make it much more personal, to land it in our body, to do that second step of Safe Place International's process of bringing it into the body, of making it real, making it relevant for ourselves. So if you would now, if you haven't already, bring up a betrayal that's prominent for you, that's real for you, that's present for you. It could be a big betrayal that you've been really wrestling with for a long time, or a smaller betrayal that's just troubling you and on your mind. But bring a betrayal into your consciousness, into your mind, into your heart, and start to remember what happened, who was there, how it unfolded, how you felt, how you reacted. And then I'm gonna cast my eyes down, and I'm gonna invite you to close your eyes or cast your eyes down. And we're gonna go into the body and just feel into it a little bit more, because betrayal doesn't live in the mind. Betrayal is a whole network of emotions. There's thoughts attached to it, but it really lives in the body. So let's ground it in the body, and I'm gonna cast my eyes down, and I'm gonna ask you to just gently bring your attention inside, resting your awareness in your heart and letting your breathing deepen, breathing all the way down into your belly. I'm placing a hand on my belly just to feel my full exhales. I'm breathing all the way in and all the way out, feeling your feet firmly on the ground, noticing all the places where your body meets the chair or whatever surface you're sitting on, and noticing any physical sensations in the body. Are there aches and pains in your shoulders or your neck or your legs? Do you notice hunger or fatigue? Is there tension in your jaw or in your neck, in your upper or lower back? As you breathe into your belly, is there tension in your stomach? When we're worried, when we're overwhelmed, our stomachs are often growly and tense. And noticing how it feels in your chest. Is it tight? Is it loose? Is it easy to breathe through your chest into your belly? Noticing the sensations in your legs. Can you feel your legs? Or is it kind of a blank below your waist, below your stomach? Can you feel your legs where you're sitting? And how is your pelvis feeling? Often we close down our pelvis area. We close down our sexual organs when we're under stress, when we're overwhelmed with feelings. Can you feel your pelvis? Noticing if there are any areas of your body that feel numb, that feel asleep, that feel blank. Feeling numb is also a feeling. It's also information about what's going on inside of us. Noticing if there are any areas of your body that feel charged with energy, excitement, or maybe fear. Excitement and fear have a similar charged energy. And noticing how does it feel just to sense and be curious about your body right now. How does it feel to put the attention on yourself, on your inner world, on your physical body? How does it feel to have your hand on your belly? And now gently placing your other hand on your heart. How is your heart feeling? I notice immediately that there are emotions there. Do you feel emotions present? Maybe just the traces of emotions, maybe just the threads of emotions. As you place your hand on your heart, do you feel anything around your eyes? Is there a loosening of tears? Is there a softening of your face as you put your hand on your heart? Just sensing what's there, sensing what your heart is carrying, what feelings are present that you may have been too busy to notice until now. And keeping that hand on your heart and that hand on your belly, reminding you to breathe and pay attention to your inner world. Now, remembering that time when you felt betrayed, it came into your awareness earlier. Recalling what happened, who was there, what were the circumstances, what were you feeling? And maybe at the time, you couldn't feel anything. But what were you feeling under that numbness, under that shock? And what were you telling yourself about the situation? Was there disbelief? Was there overwhelm? And knowing from this place of looking and feeling together, if any sensation or feeling gets too intense or overwhelming, you can always zoom out. You can always take a step back. You can do that by feeling your feet on the floor and concentrating on the breath in your belly and imagining that you're watching a situation in someone else's life with curiosity and fascination. So if you want to try that now, that zooming out, feeling your feet on the floor, grounding in your breath in the belly, and imagining that you're bringing your awareness, your eyes outside as if you're watching someone else's life with fascination and curiosity, and knowing that while the intention is to be in our own body, feeling what we feel and remembering what that betrayal felt like, anytime we need a little distance, we can zoom out. Just try that now. Try that zooming out so that you know that you have that doorway if it gets to be too much. And now from this place of safety and curiosity, really start to explore. What did you trust before the betrayal? Feel what you relied on and believed in that trust. Before you were betrayed, what was it that you absolutely relied on? And now allow yourself to remember the moment that trust was broken. What happened inside when you realized that trust was broken? Was there disbelief? Was there denial? No, this can't be happening. Was there numbness or anger? What were the thoughts? How did you try to manage your thoughts and emotions? Were you telling yourself, this isn't really happening, this can't be happening? Were you telling yourself it was all your fault? Were you telling yourself it was all the other person's fault? What was happening, and how were you trying to manage your mental world as it spun out of control? How were you trying to manage the whole situation? Were you going closer to the person who betrayed you? Were you trying to get far away? Did you reach out for help? Was there anyone you could talk with? Was there anyone to hold you? As you let this break in trust hit you, how did your reality start to change? How did you fight or react to this reality change? What was happening inside of you? As your reality, as the fabric of what you had known to be true started to disintegrate, started to tear, what was happening inside of you? What sorts of coping methods did you use? Did you drink? Did you eat? Did you distract yourself with social media or going out? Did those coping methods help? Did they bring some relief? And what were your judgments about yourself? What you did wrong before the betrayal, how you were handling the betrayal, how you should be feeling, how you should be acting, what you should be saying, what you should not be saying. What were your judgments about yourself? Did you feel ashamed or foolish for trusting this person or situation? And then just slowing down and letting everything that you're seeing really land. And from this place of seeing what you're seeing, if this was your best friend going through this betrayal, how would you feel towards them as they struggle to make sense of it all? How would you feel towards your best friend if you were witnessing this betrayal happening in their life? Could you maybe offer yourself some of what you would offer your best friend going through what you went through? And now as you look at this betrayal and feel what happened, letting yourself see how you have healed and grown from this betrayal since it happened. How have you already begun the healing process? And also noticing how this betrayal still haunts you, how it still influences your relationship and your life choices today. How is it still operating? How is it still influencing you today? However you have worked with this betrayal, seeing now if you can extend some compassion and some deep respect for all your efforts, all the ways you've tried to cope with this fundamental rupture in your reality. This jolt, this breaking of everything that you relied on. Because as we said before, if you have a rupture in one area that you've absolutely trusted, it makes you question everything. So just offering yourself some compassion, some deep respect for how you've tried to cope, how you've tried to heal, probably with not many tools, with not much support from this betrayal. And now again, bring your attention back to the hand on your heart and noticing how your heart is feeling now. And again, sending yourself some appreciation, some gratitude for the courage it takes to go inside and feel what that betrayal felt like as you explored its impact, all the ways that it's affected your life. It affects your life today. And as you hold your heart and you hold that compassion and that respect for all you've been through, letting yourself gently come back and open your eyes, still breathing into your belly and just noticing how you're feeling right now. When we turn and face what we've been running from, we can be flooded with emotions. But there's also a peace in saying, finally, all that I've been trying to escape, I'm inviting in. And finally saying, there's nothing dangerous in my body. I want to learn from my experiences. I want to learn from my pain. I want to learn from my heartbreak. I want to grow towards love. So as we did in the previous videos, we're going to be answering some writing prompts. So I'd like you to pause the video and bring your pen and paper right where you can have them near. Or if you're taking down notes on a device, open to a platform where you can take notes. And I'm going to give you some writing prompts. But I'd like you to have as little movement as possible. Just get your writing implements and then press play, and we're going to continue. Because I'd like you to stay with what you've been feeling through the meditation and through this process. All right. So again, I invite you to keep breathing. And again, if at any point the emotions and the sensations feel too overwhelming, you can use the zoom out technique that we just learned in the meditation, or you can just pause the video and get a glass of water and walk around and come back into your body and then press play again. So I'm going to give you a writing prompt, and then I'll disappear from the screen and you'll see a slide with a timer. Please keep writing until the timer runs out. And if you've got more to say, if there's more to write, just keep writing, press pause on the video and press play again when you're ready to start. And the first writing prompt is really about what you experienced in the betrayal, just writing down what happened. Write about the betrayal you experienced. Write down what you trusted before, how that trust was broken, and how you reacted to the situation. So we're just writing down what happened. About the betrayal, write it down now. Great job. Next writing prompt. What were your emotional reactions to this betrayal? What did you tell yourself about the betrayal? And did you blame yourself in any way for the betrayal? Write it down now. Great. And now, what were the effects of this betrayal on your life? How did it affect the relationship with the people or people involved in the betrayal? How did it affect other relationships in your life? And how did it affect your trust in your own judgment? Write it down now. There's a slide to support you. We talked earlier, and I gave an example about the unpleasant truths that betrayal exposes. What's untrue, what's fantasy, what we relied on that actually wasn't something that we could rely on, wasn't something real. What unpleasant truths or realities did your betrayal expose? Write them down now. And all of us in betrayal experience feeling like a victim. How did you feel like a victim in this betrayal? Write it down now. And how specifically did you blame yourself, partially or fully, for this betrayal? Write it down now. And how do you see this betrayal that happened last week, last month, last year, 10 years ago in your childhood? How do you see it differently now than you did when it happened? How do you see it differently now than you did when it happened? Write it down now. And what specific lessons or new realities, we talked about the new realities. The new reality might be, I was trying to get something from my partner that I wouldn't give myself. I was trying to find love with someone that wasn't interested in loving me. I was trusting someone that hadn't earned my trust. What specific lessons or new realities did this betrayal bring in, even if those lessons and realities are still in process, even if they're still unfolding? Write them down now. So a follow-up to that question are, what are the specific gifts or new realities that you still need to embrace to get all of the gifts of this betrayal and move forward with your life? What do you still need to embrace in these lessons and new realities to heal and move forward in your life? What's still there to heal? Write them down now. And now I'd love you just to take a few minutes and read through your responses and really feel where you are with this betrayal today. Go ahead and do that now. You have done such deep and courageous work today, and it's been my honor to work right alongside of you. As we've said many times in these 2 sessions, we're all living with heartbreak. We've all experienced betrayal. We're all living with grief, and we will until our last breath. But it is the rare person, and that would be you, that turns towards what most of the world is running from, in service to loving and being loved, engaging fully in life, expressing our gifts and our passion and our purpose, and really making the most of every second we have alive, breathing, walking around on this planet. So we're facing some really scary things that most of the world and the culture tells us to stay away from or get over or forget about. And we're doing that to find peace, to find aliveness. But we also recognize that it's stressful when we feel our heartbreak, when we feel how betrayal has ruptured our reality, when we feel grief that has been overwhelming to us in the past. So I want to invite you to take care of yourself, to keep appreciating yourself, to drink water, to eat good food, to sleep. If you're into hugs, and I hope you are, get some hugs, get some love, get some sunlight, and we'll see you back here for video 3. Take care until then.